The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters. The very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy.
What it do, what it do. You already know what it is. You already know what it is. Episode 1 of the MK podcast, 1 of 1 million. So, with that being said, Kane, mute yourself because you got an echo. We're going to react to the Super Bowl and we're going to react to Kendrick Lamar's halftime show. So, with that being said, Kane, come through, introduce yourself, and then we can go from there, my guy.
You already know what it is, man. We're back here to Surf Smoke Game on the ground for them hungry hounds. You just got up the pound and are ready for the next round. So, with that being said, make sure you grab your snacks, your drinks, your weed, whatever the case may be, because we're going to jump right into this episode, man.
So, we're going to look at the box score and go over some of the results from this Super Bowl. A lot of offensive showcase from the Philadelphia Eagles and some late night plays made by the Kansas City Chiefs, but too late for them to be able to put together a comeback that would have put them at least in a close game situation. So Jalen Hurts went 17 for 22, threw for 221 yards, threw for 2 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley only rushed for 25 carries and had a total of 57 yards. He set a lot of records. I think I know actually, he had a 1-on-1 season that no other running back has been able to replicate ever. Um, so obviously the defense is going to key in on him, and he was held underneath 100 yards. Rare game from Saquon, but he played his part and he caught some very important catches. See, that's a lot of things that people don't think about when it comes to running back. They don't just got to run, they got to block, and they got to catch that ball. So Devonta Smith had 4 receptions for 69 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Brown had 3 receptions for 43 yards and a touchdown. Both receivers showed up when it mattered the most and made some big time plays. So, a lot of people said if Saquon Barkley didn't have a good game, myself included, if it's Jalen Hurts versus Pat Mahomes, I'm taking Pat Mahomes 10 out of 10 times. Well, Jalen Hurts stood up to the plate, stayed composed, and was able to make some big plays. So, what do you think of all the players that I just spoke of regarding their performances, and what do you think about everything? Yeah, regarding that.
I think at the end of the day, they went out there and they did everything that they could to do what they're supposed to do, Everybody who's sitting around and mad because their team lost or whatever, you're not out there on the field. So, I mean, what can you do about it? I don't know too much about football, honestly, because I don't really watch it, so I can't speak too much on it. But what I will say is that you got to give a round of applause to everybody out there that was even out there on the field, because that's a huge stadium, and I guarantee if any of y'all were out there in that stadium, you wouldn't know what to do. Y'all can sit here and do this and that, whatever the case may be, but you wouldn't. They went out there and did what they were supposed to do, whether they won or lost.
Yep, and now we're going to turn it over to the Kansas City Chiefs side of the box score. Let's just say, man, the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line was phenomenal. They put a lot of pressure on Pat Mahomes. I've never seen Pat Mahomes that baffled with the ball. He threw 1 pick 6, almost threw 2 pick 6s. He threw 2 interceptions, period. And I think they sacked him like 7 times. That's the most he's ever been sacked. And going into halftime, he only had, I think, 25 passing yards. But he didn't give up. In the fourth quarter, he ended up throwing 2 touchdowns. and two of his three touchdowns that he threw went to Xavier Worthy, who was a fucking rookie, and he's the fastest receiver in the league. He caught 8 balls for 157 yards and had 2 touchdowns. Fucking Travis Kelsey only had 4 receptions for 39 yards, and he had 0 receptions at halftime. That boy did not show up, and he was trying hard for Taylor Swift, but it didn't work. DeAndre Hopkins, 2 receptions for 18 yards, a touchdown, but he dropped a huge play earlier in the game. And it's like a lot of these people's yards that you hear me listing. It seems like they had a good game, but really they didn't because when it mattered the most, they didn't perform. And in shit time, they were able to get all these cheat day ass yards. So Pat Mahomes didn't have a lot of time to get the ball to his receivers. People don't understand how important that offensive line is. If they're not blocking, it don't matter who you are. Saquon Barkley, Pat Mahomes, they're running at you. And Tom Brady commentated the whole game and respected that Pat never quit, even when it was terrible. And Tom Brady had to deal with that too. He won 7 Super Bowls. A lot of players don't even win one. So Tom Brady speaking on it. That's a real reputable. But yeah, crazy game from the Kansas City side. There's a lot that they can recover from next year, but a lot of people don't realize it's not guaranteed that they're going to get back there. 2 teams out of 32 teams get in the Super Bowl. What's the chances that this team matches up again? I'd say higher than 50, but at the same time, not 100. So, what do you think about the Kansas City's performance? Oh, and also their starting running back only had 3 carries for 9 yards, and their other running back had 1 carry for 8 yards. They only ran the ball with their actual running backs a total of fucking 7 times. The rest of it was all runs by Pat Mahomes and throws. That's all they did. They were so easy to figure out for the fucking defense.
That's crazy. Um, they did what they were supposed to do. I mean, like I said, I don't know too much about football, so it is what it is. But they went out there and they did everything that they could and did what they were supposed to do. And you got to give them a round of applause because at the end of the day, they stepped out there into the field and they ran that ball. Uh, they was out there. They was playing defense. They was playing offense. I mean, what more can you say? They did what they're supposed to do. That's that's really all I gotta say. I don't want to try and talk like I know about stuff when I don't know too much about it, because I'm gonna sound like a fool. But they all I can say is both the teams went out there and did what they were supposed to do.
Yep. Then the halftime show was Kendrick Lamar, which was pretty much just a fuck Drake concert. Um, it was cool to see all the different themes that he infused. He had the dancers in red, white, and blue, which symbolized the American flag, and when they stood in formation, that's what it was. Um, but it was pretty much just a fuck you Drake concert. I mean, he did the A minor shit, was wearing an A chain. Um, Said I would perform the song everybody wants to hear, but he likes to sue people. He was talking about Drake. Then he said, "Say Drake," and looked at the camera. It was literally just a tribute to Drake. And Drake's in Australia right now, so he was probably asleep, relaxing, not giving a damn. So it was just goofy, and it just goes to show that Drake gave him a huge alley oop, no matter how you look at it, because Kendrick won the same amount of Grammys in one year that Drake's won in his career. He got a lot more known, a lot more opportunities. So at the end of the day, he should be giving him a gift for Father's Day. And now, I'm not a huge fan of Drake. I'm not a huge fan of nobody. But I mean, you got to respect how much fucking trauma this man is causing all these rappers, man, that are just like making the Avengers and going against them. It's just hilarious. But yeah, what do you think about the halftime show, and what's your opinion on this whole Kendrick saga that everybody's dragging on?
I think Kendrick let out the full Keisha extent to Keisha. Like this dude, has he had the opportunity to make the halftime show about himself because he was on stage. But instead, he wanted to make it about another man who wasn't even in the arena, bro. Like you can't make it up. I didn't watch it. I didn't. I didn't even watch the Super Bowl because um, not a big football fan, really. It just never appealed to me. But Kendrick making a whole halftime show that he's performing about another man, you can't make it up, bro. You can't make it up. That screams homosexual to me. But at the end of the day, like you said, Drake pretty much gave him that alley-oop and gave him all the connections that he has. The way I look at it is like the same thing that Izzy did for Alex Pereira. I mean, if Izzy and Alex never fought each other in kickboxing and Izzy didn't go to UFC, Alex wouldn't have done it. If Drake and Kendrick never started beefing with each other, Kendrick never would have got to where he was because Drake caused him so much trauma that now all he's focused on is Drake. Like, you can't make it up, bro.
Yep. So with that being said, another Super Bowl in the books. It was awesome. Everything was great. The commercials were cool. John Jones had a commercial about healthcare and how the power needs to be put back to the people. There was a commercial from Kanye. This motherfucker's been going off on a rant, but he paid for a Super Bowl commercial that he did from his fucking iPhone camera and was just being goofy. He's making a lot of headlines right now for the wild shit he's saying, but I'm not surprised. It's Kanye. And then there was also a commercial roasting Americans for being fat. So there were some good commercials, man, this year. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, what's your opinions on those commercials?
That's crazy, bro. I didn't know there was a commercial roasting fat people. It sounds like America is slowly starting to get back on track with how things used to be. Whereas, back then, like just a year ago, if you said anything about fat people, you were immediately shamed and silenced and said that you're fat shaming, you're this. And the fact that they got a commercial roasting fat people, and honestly, it makes me happy to hear. I ain't gonna lie, it makes me happy to hear. Your boy Kanye, I saw a clip of the commercial that he did when he was recording on his phone. I didn't watch the whole thing because I just thought it was goofy. I heard that John Jones had a commercial about the whole healthcare speech and whatnot, giving power back to the people. Like I said, I didn't watch any of this because it doesn't appeal to me. But yeah, man, I think it's cool that John Jones is speaking on stuff like that because at the end of the day, power does need to come back to the people to a certain extent. But yeah, no, I loved it. I loved the fact that they roasted fat people in that commercial. I haven't seen that commercial. I got to go find it after we get off, but that is hilarious.
Yep, and with that being said, another legendary Super Bowl in the books. It was a good football game. Pat Mahomes has an opportunity to have his villain arc. Tom Brady lost 3 Super Bowls, so the greatest winners lost at some point. So shout out to Saquon Barkley. I was going for the Eagles, but I put money on the Chiefs, if that makes sense. I went with what Vegas was saying, but I wanted to see Saquon win. Saquon won, Jalen Hurts won. So to all you dumbasses that are going to have a civil war tomorrow over your team, you don't even get a penny of any of their salary. So unless you want to go try for the cheerleading squad, but I think there's a lot of hot chicks that already have that job, to all you dumb niggas out there. So with that being said, Kane, send us up out of here, and Kane will be live soon. Let's go. Let's get it. We good.
Hey, y'all, also don't forget, if you want to be a cheerleader, Trump did away with all that, so you couldn't even do that. So with that being said, make sure y'all share with your friends, your families, your mummies, aunties, your grannies, and everybody else y'all know. We're finna get up on out of here, man.
Every time I ask somebody what their dream life is, they give a very lazy, sloppy answer. Well, I want to be rich. How rich? For you to become rich and successful is going to require pain and suffering, and you have to understand exactly what your dream life is to make the pain and suffering worthwhile. Have you ever been to the gym and seen a person in fantastic physical condition? They're strong, they're ripped, they're large. And you say to them, how did you get so big and strong? And they say, I don't know. Oops, it kind of just happened. No, there is a very detailed plan and roadmap. You talk about your dream life. You don't even know what your dream life is. How do you expect to get to a destination when you don't know where you're going?